Are you starting a church or ministry and trying to understand the world of non-profits? What if I told you that under Section 508(c)(1)(a), your church is automatically tax-exempt from day one? That means no filing the long, expensive Form 1023 application for recognition of status. It also means greater freedom of speech and less ongoing administrative burden than most non-profits. But this powerful status isn't a free pass. We'll show you the benefits, the hidden rules, and the one number you must get: the EIN. So what exactly is this 508 status? It's not a secret type of organization. It's a specific exception listed in the tax code. This section was added in 1969 to protect the First Amendment rights of churches from government intrusion. Benefit 1. You are exempt from filing Form 1023. This saves thousands in legal fees and months of waiting for IRS approval. Benefit 2. You are exempt from filing the annual Form 990. This is the detailed financial return most nonprofits must file publicly. Benefit 3. Enhanced privacy. Because there's no annual filing, your financial records and donor lists are not subject to public review. This sounds amazing, doesn't it? But automatic exemption is not unconditional exemption. You don't apply, but you must qualify. Why is this distinction meaningful? Because a 508(c)(1)(a) organization is legally a special type of 501(c)(3) entity. So if you don't file an application, how does the IRS determine if you actually qualify as a church? You must be able to answer this. The IRS uses specific traits to define a church. This isn't about theology, but structure. Key factors include a legal existence and a congregation. Why this matters is that you must continuously operate in a way that meets these standards. Your own records, bylaws, minutes are the proof. We've covered the freedoms and the need to qualify. Now for the one thing that is absolutely mandatory for everyone. Let's talk about the EIN. Remember our question. How does the IRS know you exist? For all practical purposes, it starts with your Employer Identification Number, or EIN. Think about it. How do you open a bank account? How do you hire staff and run payroll? All these functions require an EIN from the IRS. Significantly, the EIN is not your tax-exempt number. It's an identification number, like a social security number for an organization. Here is a serious pitfall. Do not apply for an EIN until your organization is legally formed in your state. There's a rule about non-filing. While your 508 church is exempt, the IRS system may not know that yet. Applying too early can start a clock that leads to mistaken revocation. So the freedom is real, but so are the responsibilities. Now, let's complicate the picture by looking at the trade-offs and risks. One major trade-off. Without an official IRS determination letter, 508(c)(1)(a) organizations are generally not eligible for government grants. Here's the most surprising risk, and it affects your donors. If audited, the burden may be on them to prove your church qualifies. Finally, be wary of misinformation. There are often fraudulent setups that are not legitimate 508(c)(1)(a) structures. Following this bad advice can lead to serious trouble. Let's bring all these pieces together. How do the freedoms and the requirements create a complete picture? We saw your exemption is automatic, but that you must meet IRS criteria for a church. Freedom from external applications means a demand for internal discipline. Therefore, Your bylaws, board minutes, and financial records are not just best practices, they are your primary defense to prove you qualify. We also saw you have immense privacy from filings, but you must get a public-facing EIN to operate. This shows the core tension of the 508 status. The 508c1a is a balance. It offers freedom from government entanglement, but it demands rigorous self-governance to exist. To review, as a 508c1a church, you are automatically tax-exempt. You don't file Form 1023 or 990, giving you great freedom and privacy. However, you must qualify as a church in the eyes of the IRS, maintain precise internal records, and you absolutely must get an EIN to function. Be aware of the trade-offs, like grant ineligibility, the potential burden on your donors, and the scams promoted by bad actors. For any ministry leader, this is not a shortcut, but a serious legal structure. We strongly suggest seeking qualified counsel to ensure your setup is sound.